the HP 15-BS212WM. I'm going to show how you remove this back plate, and you can remove the RAM on this model. I'm not sure about anything else. It's not really meant to be tampered with, but the RAM you can. I'm sure storage as well. So yeah, there's screws that need to be removed, including ones under these little plastic pieces for friction. Each one has one. So once you remove the screws, you can remove the battery. See if I can do it one-handed. Before you completely remove this, because I believe it's attached. It'll keep the back plate from coming off. So once I do that, I'll be back. So right here, this screw, I've left it in just to mention that this is what holds the drive, the DVD drive, in place. So once you remove this, you can just pull this out. All right, now that we removed all the screws, they're all the same length from what I can tell, so there's not really a need to sort them. Now that we have all the screws removed, we have to actually open the screen, and where it comes out is here. As you can see, I can kind of pull it back. So you need a tool, maybe this one. I have to see which one works best. This tool, just something that'll fit. You can use your nails, but that might hurt and it might be too hard. Or you could use a pick shape, if that works for you. Or I'll probably end up having to use this one. It's kind of like a mini crowbar. And you just, try to pull it up, the case up and out. The reason I don't like this, I prefer if it was flush with the outside, is because once you start pulling, you have to be careful. I don't know if you can tell, but this laptop hinge is actually broken off completely because someone else tried to remove it, I'm guessing, and they like closed it partway, and you can hear that click, which could break some plastic, since this laptop, it's just cheap build quality. But that's something to keep in mind. Just be careful while taking it off, because you might break a hinge. It turned out this one was good for me. Able to slide it in. Be careful not to jab it in all the way, because you might, pull, the motherboard is right there. You might remove some soldering or whatnot. So just as much as you can to get leverage, pull up, all around. So we popped off this plastic shit, and we've got the motherboard and all its components, the HDD, which is only 500 gigs, and here we have the RAM. And as you can see, let's see if it says it. Yeah, RAM 4096, which is 4 gigs of RAM, which is shit. And this motherboard supports up to 8, and I believe the speed, I don't think it says the speed. I believe the speed is 2400 hertz. But I mean, kind of hard to find weak RAM nowadays. I happen to have this stick, because I recently upgraded my laptop and I just had it laying around. And this is what was stock in my laptop, but it's much better. 8 gig, 3200 hertz. I mean, if we go off how this is labeled, no, I don't think it says the speed. It might be on the other side. But I do know that this is DDR4. And normally, with gaming laptops, the battery will be integrated into the build. But here, since it's removable, we don't need to worry about unplugging any wiring here. We just need to, and kind of need both hands for this, but unhook the RAM and it pops out. Pull it out. And there we are. So you just need, for this model of laptop, is DDR4. That's what you need to worry about. Don't worry about the speed much. If you can find speed that matches, I believe it's 2400, that'd be better. Because when you start to mismatch the speeds, you could get instability, but for our purposes, 3200 will not really be an issue. I don't think at all. Virtually no issue. Because it'll just throttle back to the max speed of the motherboard. The nice thing about these RAM sticks is you don't need to worry about which side because it only fits with one side. You just slide it right in. Make sure not too much pressure, just slide it in. Let me make sure it's seated well. Kind of need to, yeah. And you just push it. Don't worry about breaking nothing. It's meant to click back when you push it in. So one step that, well, okay, so that's done. We have our new RAM installed. We have the old one. I don't think it's worth even selling, but it's there. We've got it. I like to keep this kind of stuff anyway. Got that seated. The next step I would suggest is, well, first off, putting this back on. But before you put the battery back in, I would suggest letting, discharging the motherboard by holding the power button for around 30 seconds. So I'll be back once I put the plate back in and, discharge. All right, so now we got the base plate in, no screws in, DVD drive not in, no battery. Just gonna hold that power button. You hold it for 25 to 30 seconds, just letting it discharge, having the motherboard reset to account for its new RAM installed. This is just a step that I've seen a lot of technicians do. I am in no way a technician, so don't really know why. I mean, I could make an educated guess. I'm not going to not look like a fool. I'm just gonna tell you to do it. All right, so now, as you can see, we got the fucked up hinge causing problems when trying to close it. That seems to not be an issue when the screws are in, but like I can't even try to close it. Really have to be careful. Yeah, I don't want to force it. I'm gonna put in the screws with it open, and I'll be back once it's operational. Completely reassembled. Got the disk drive there. Is that poppage? It's not flush. Turned it on after installing that stick, and you could see here it's bumped up to 8 gigabytes of RAM. Startup was a lot faster, about 40 seconds instead of the usual 2 minutes. Before I even got my hands on this thing, it was like 10 minutes. So I made some changes. And that was all software related, not even hardware. There was nothing to clean because there's no fan. Nothing really gets in there. It's just a few loose hairs pry through the keyboard. But other than that, that's how you upgrade the RAM on this shitbox of a laptop. Very, very basic video on how to do it. I'm sure there's a lot better out there. Maybe have better explanations than me. But I mean, it's $400, $500 laptop. For that price, you could get a better fucking Chromebook. Okay? You could get a Google Chrome book and it'll perform 10 times better than this. So, there you have it. Thanks for watching.